Welcome, Reiki Healing Hope community. I'm so excited about what we're going to do today. So today I'm going to explain to you numerology. Last week I explained to you astrology, specifically natal charts, but I want to get more into this knowledge-based metaphysical work. Now, what I do, which is Reiki energy work, I'm also a yoga teacher. Those are much more of the physical things. Yoga is very physical. Reiki is working with the energy. But what I love about astrology and numerology, it is very, very, very much so knowledge based. So it's less of having to do that work and more of like mental stimulation. So if you're new to the channel, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I love to hear your comments and see what you're up to. I only ask that if you post something, you're posting something for our highest vibrational good. And we want to maintain that this is a safe community where we can all come back to be curious, to share, and to know that we have family here. Okay, and as we always do I have permission to say a prayer? It is not a religious prayer, just a prayer to connect us as community. Okay, may I take your hand? Okay. Dear Mother, Father, God, and all for our highest good, please connect us to the Reiki Masters, the Ascended Masters, Master Jesus, Master Buddha, Master Kutumi. Please connect us to the Archangels, to the Spirit Guides, Spirit Animals, to our ancestor lineage, and any for our highest vibrational good. Allow us to move forward in our evolutionary path. And I say all of this in the name of I Am. Now, I still say a prayer because I want us to know that we are connected here with the highest intention. And I want to set the intention at the beginning of our practice today that we will be responsive. I wanted to say responsive and respectful. And then I came up with respect. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm clear now. I'm having a great time. That's what's happening. So what I'm going to talk about today is numerology. And if you like some visual stimulation, I'll just work with your aura a little bit, just to be a little bit more receptive. But I'm mostly just explaining the numerology. And feel free to come back to this video at any time. I'm going to provide a link in the description box of what programs that I use to help me calculate these certain numbers, so you don't feel like you necessarily have to go and do all of these things on your own. So, like astrology, numerology is a knowledge-based system. It's been around for thousands of years, and what it's basically saying is that there's a significance to numbers. Certain numbers have certain meanings. In our Sunday 11:11 group healing, 11:11 is an angel number, and that number is about self-faith, opening your heart up, exploration, ultimate healing. And so there's a significance to that. So at 11:11 p.m., that's when we do that work. You've heard of the album 444, right? 444 is also an angel number. It's talking about the significance of numbers. Now, specifically rooting it down to numerology, I'm going to just give you the basics and the foundation of that. Now, in numerology, you, just like in astrology, where you'll have a natal chart that has your alignment, signs, planets in different signs, X, Y, and Z. In numerology, you also have a chart too. And there's a bunch of numbers for different things. But to just reduce it down and give you somewhere to start, understand your life path number, as well as understanding your pinnacle numbers and your challenge numbers. If you start right there, I think everything else will be icing on the cake. But that's definitely the foundation, or the meat and potatoes of what I think that will bring you the greatest value right now. And I'm going to attach in the description box below the programs that I use when I calculate these numbers. They're all free. It's super easy to do. So what you need for numerology is you need to know your birthday. You don't need any other information except for that. Just month, day, and year. Now, the first thing is your life path number. How you calculate your life path number is by adding up your entire birthday. So I'm going to give you an example. If your birthday is August 12th, 1984, you're going to add 0 plus 8 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 4. Now you're going to get a number there. And whatever that number is, you then reduce that number again by adding it up until you get a singular number. Now I'm going to go in a little bit later in the videos. There are 3 numbers that you do not reduce down to. And those numbers are master's numbers. Those are 11, 22, and 33. Now, the example I gave you of August 12th, 1984, it actually happens to add out to a master number, which is 33. So you would leave that number alone. But for some reason, say that the number added up to 34, you would then take that 3 and that 4, you add it together, and it'll give you a 7. Now I'll speak a little bit more onto the nuance of breaking down the master numbers, because some people do continue to add that 33 and reduce it down into a 6. I'll talk more about that later. But if you want to, you can pause this video and just go ahead and calculate your life path number. Super easy. Just whip out your phone or the phone you're on right now and calculate that. I'll give you a second. Pause. Okay, unpaused. So you'll have that number now. Now I'm just going to briefly go through what each of those numbers are. Now, here are the options that you have for your life path numbers. You can have any number between 1 and 9, as well as 11, 22, and 33. So you're going to be one of those numbers. So if your life path number happens to be a number 1, that is the number of the leader. Leadership, independence, being assertive, being the boss. It kind of makes you think of even like something that's, if you like astrology, something that's very Capricornian. It is being assertive. So if that's you, you're probably really, really good at rallying people, being very assertive, maybe even sometimes aggressive towards what it is that you want, and you will get there. Like, you don't, if you see a wall, you don't mind like getting a hammer and knocking it down. And you definitely need people around you because you like to be a leader. You like to have that group. It's not necessarily a number that needs to be alone. It's a number that wants to be around others, wants to organize people. So that's number 1. This is your life path. So this is your personality. Number 2, that is the number of partnerships. So you are really, really good at balancing. The first thing that comes to mind for me here is something like Libra energy, where you can be really good at something, but then you also like that partnership, like being a business partner. It's less of being like a partner in a lot of things, and more, what I'm trying to say is less of being like, oh, you are a member of the team, and more about specific business partnerships where there's 2 entities involved. You're really good at balancing that out, meaning you can be very good at something, be very successful at something, but you're actually going to be fantastic if you can go align yourself with another person who's strong, or you want to build them up, and you all can create things together. So definitely look at partnerships as how you align yourself to get forward. So how one goes out and they find their team and they want to rally together. Your 2s are more of, you know what you're good at, and you strategically partner with certain people or situations or whatever have you to get ahead. That's going to be really your blessing there. Now, number 3 is all about kind of like being in the middle. So there's 3, you got this side, you got that side, and being in the middle. So it is our first number that is more about the emotions, about intuition. It gives us very water sign energy because it's about harnessing that intuition and that feeling as a way to move forward. So 3s are very creative, really good at creating something new, of taking those feelings, bringing it out, and verbalizing or materializing the things that are energetically feelings. So being creative, artists, as they say, artsy fartsy types, artists are really 3 energy. And you don't necessarily have to be an artist but maybe you are in some other line of work and you're just very creative. You, instead of like a routine, you like to create new things. So that's number 3. Number four is the number of organization. So you're very, very good at organizing things together. It also has to do with value systems, practicality. So you have a very strong value system. So whatever your value system is, it doesn't have to be traditional or non. You are very certain and you anchor yourself down in that value system. So I'll give you an example. Someone like an Oprah Winfrey, her life path number is a 4. And you see she's built this entire empire, and she didn't start off with anything. She started off poor. She started off in a very abusive upbringing and so much trauma. She was a young mother who had a baby who ended up passing away, and she just had she's kind of shrouded in shame and all of these things, but she persevered. She pursued her education, she pursued her goals, and she slowly built an empire by anchoring it down in her show that she had for 30 years. Now, the thing about that is such a number 4 thing to do, because the practicality, it wasn't an overnight success kind of thing. She was a anchor at a time when women of color weren't necessarily looked at as this is the person we want to see on TV. She was successful in that. She went and became a talk show host when there were so many talk shows going on. She started talking about spiritual work at a time when people were like, that sounds crazy. And she just remained consistent, and she had her value systems. If you go back and you listen to her interviews in the 80s, and she's talking about this kind of like spiritual work that now, we look at a Deepak Chopra and we're like, okay, yes, that makes sense. But at that time, she probably sounded Looney Tunes. But she knew her value systems, and she organized, and she's very practical when it comes to that. And she builds things up. She's good at building organizations. So number 4 is you're really good at organization. So definitely hone that in. Know that you can build something up, whether you want to be an entrepreneur or intrapreneur. Entrepreneur meaning you're working for yourself. Intrapreneur meaning you're building up and you're growing up in an actual organization. So now let's go to number 5. I hope you all are enjoying this because I get so excited. 5 is the number of exploration and travel, meaning you're meeting new people, new experiences, new places, and that's a part of your journey. You're going to meet a lot of new people, or you're going to be one of those people who like to have a lot of hobbies, like to always have a lot of friends, like to go on a lot of new journeys and new adventures. So you should definitely be open to travel, maybe open to working in global work. So that can be anything from like merchandise, of bringing back and forth trades and goods and things like that, or working online with a global community, or whatever that is. Maybe language. Maybe you enjoy learning languages. You enjoy learning about commerce in different countries. So really hone in on that and know that you just probably have this natural gift and like to travel and like that new experience. Number 6. Now, number 6 is another number that has this emotional energy to it. But what it is it's really the number of the team member, the number of the person who is the family member. So unlike the 3, which is unlike the 2, which is like the business partnership, the partnership in general, maybe like the marriage, things like that. The 6 is more of like the Cancer energy and being the person in the family, being the person in the team member. They want to make sure that everybody in the team is involved, heard from. They have this intuitive energy to really go around and see how people are doing in the team, just wanting everyone to be inclusive and together. And so you're good at that. You're really good at being in communities. You're really good. So definitely be open to, if you don't want to build your community, join a community, because I think that you will just instantly really take off there, and you don't have to do the legwork of building a community. As well as, I think you're going to do a job that a lot of other people don't want to do. The number 1 who is assertive, they may or may not go around seeing how everybody's feeling. What they're doing is they're trying to lead, the ship. The number 2 is being very strategic in the partnerships. But the number 6 is saying, like, I want to see how everybody is, make sure they're doing well, checking in on people. So definitely honing in that energy is very much so the family, the team member, and things like that. Balance as well there. Very personal, interpersonal relationships. Number 7 is, love this number. This is the number of research, self-exploration, exploration in general. So it's a very spiritual number because it's more of like you're getting into the research of the universe. So you might like things that are taboo. You might like things that maybe are misunderstood, because you're going on this deep exploration to come up with your own understanding. You might be critical, but more of like curious and questioning, because you're trying to develop your own understanding of the universe. You're less receptive to just what you've been told and what someone tries to tell you, and you want to go and you want to do that research, deep research into the deep and darkest places in the web, not in a negative way, but just, those websites that look like they're in 1995, like might still be green and black. That's what you like to do. And this is the sign. What it reminds me of is kind of like Scorpio energy, where the Scorpio likes the underdog. The Scorpio wants to be compassionate towards the person or the energy that has been shunned and looked past and looked down on. And the 7 is doing that energy. And you're probably very spiritual and less religious, to be honest with you. But that's what the 7 is. So continue to explore. You're probably super well learned, love research, and all of that energy right there. Okay. Beautiful. Now let's get into number 8. I hope I haven't lost you all. Number 8 is is the number of money. So here it is, business comes up again. So we've had business come up in 1, which is being the leader, a bit of 2 when it comes to partnership, but the first time business was really coming up was number 4 of organization, and number 8, it actually has to do with money. You're really good with money. It's also a sign of being practical. It kind of reminds me of Taurus energy, of being practical, living within your means, value, building things up, all of that kind of energy. And also it is officially the number of business. So running an organization, growing an organization, it has a lot of those qualities of 4 and 1 in it, but it's surrounded by the actual value of it being good with money, because money is just an energetic transference. It's not anything that when we look at things like capitalism, we can see how money has been used as a way of commodifying many things that shouldn't be commodified. You look at slavery, you look at people being taken advantage of, all of these things. At the root, money is an energetic transference. So money can be used for negative and evil things. At the root of it, what it is an energetic transference. So if you're working with higher vibrational energy and you're like, hey, I want to be respectful and I have weirdness with money, go find you an 8, because they're definitely going to help you work through that and be receptive. There has to be a bit of knowing your worth and knowing your value to say, I deserve to be paid this month. I can bring a certain amount of value. So find you an 8, and you 8s, really hunker down and make sure that you are right with your money, because that's what the gift you bring. 9 is the number of the humanitarian. It gives you a lot of Aquarius energy. It is the 9 has to be careful not to move into martyrdom. The 9 can also be a spiritual number, but what it is the 9 wants to work for the highest vibrational good. Where 1 is the leader, 9 is considered the natural leader. 1, they want to go out and lead. The 9 is the person that people come to and talk to them as if they were the leader, because they give you a sense of grounding in who you are. They feel very comfortable. They probably start to trust in you more than they trust in themselves. But they also know that the 9 is the person who does things in order for the greatest good. So they're not doing things for their own personal career or personal things. They're doing it because it needs to be done, and they just want this kind of, humanity to come together. That's something I thought about. That's my life path number, which is 9, and I think that's why I love to do this spiritual work. I think that's why I've always been very drawn to a lot of causes and volunteering, because it just feels like the right thing to do. But I also, over time, try to hold myself accountable to the intersectional path of like, hey, if I'm in a privileged position, and I'm donating my time, I need to be mindful that I'm doing the greatest good, or I'm creating spaces for people to speak, as well as if I'm in other situations where I am coming from marginalized identities, that I have the courage to speak up, and also not to be a martyr to the cause, because what I've learned that has been so healing for me in my own work as an energy worker, as a light bringer, is that you all don't need me to do the work for you. I can facilitate a space for you all to do the work, but ultimately you have to do the work, because you have to be your own hero. You have to be the one who holds the power to open and close the door. And there's a lot of times where it can be very easy to get caught up in wanting to be the person who opens the door and saves people. They have a bunch of terms for it. Savior complex, and what you read about, which is like the white savior complex and things like that. But it really means just knowing that, just checking your privilege, but also speaking up for your marginalized identities, and being receptive in the position of saying hey, at the end of the day, I want to empower you, because I want you all to know that what I do, you can do. And if you're called to do the healing work, you can also do that too. So that's a 9. So that's 1 through 9 life path numbers. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to speed this up because I just get so excited. So if your number is 11, those are master numbers. 11 is a highly also emotional, the highest form of energy or intuition that is available, meaning these 11s, you don't have to struggle with trusting your intuition. You just know, and you're not going to fight against it either. So work at making sure that you don't let anything derail you from that, and you will be a wonderful healer, a wonderful teacher. 22, you're known as the master builders, and that's a lot of that energy that happens from the business side. Now make sure you're practical. If you're practical, you will literally build something very beautiful, something that anchors down for generations to come. But you have to hold yourself accountable to be practical. Those master builders are those people who come and they are the cornerstone to making something happen. Because while all these other numbers are dealing with uncertainty, going through their numbers, for certain okay, we can build this. This is how we do it. And you don't have this emotional back and forth or energetic back and forth of ooh, I'm going to let this derail me. You just know for certain. And 33 is the highest master number. It's a number associated with people like Jesus or the Buddha. And what it is it gives you a lot of Pisces energy. And it is the person who encompasses all of the highest vibrational energy. Can also be seen as the martyr, but the martyr by choice, meaning if you are 33, you probably know your purpose, and no matter what happens, whether the worst thing in the world happens, you will stay steadfast in that purpose because you are so connected to energy and to spirit. Now, make sure you know that this purpose is the right purpose. If you anchor down to a purpose that is not genuine to who you are, then you could be building that strong energy in a direction that's not for your highest or the community's highest vibrational good. But if you take some time to clear out, make sure you know what your purpose is, you're completely just a wonderful person to come across, and just have that compassion in your heart. Okay, so let me see if I can run through the challenge and pinnacle numbers. So we've gone through the life path numbers. Now, challenge and pinnacle numbers are 4 numbers each. challenge numbers are things, they're life periods that you're going to be challenged at. And it depends on your life path number. It tells you like from 0 to 28 or 0 to 34. These are going to have an influence on you. So your challenge numbers are for your life. Challenge numbers are 4, and your pinnacle numbers, things you're good at, are 4. So I'm going to leave a link in the description box below, and it will tell you the number based off of whatever challenge you're in right now. And these are the things you need to focus on. So for example, I've been using 1 a lot. If your challenge number is a 1, you might feel like people are overpowering you with their will, family members overpowering you with your will. You might feel stifled, but the challenge here is you have to figure out a way to maneuver do that without blaming others. And that, when you come out of that challenge, will give you a strength that's greater than folding under that pressure. And your pinnacle number, if, for example, same number 1, if your pinnacle number is a number 1 for that period in your life, that means you're going to be a really good leader. You're going to be super assertive. The energy opens up for you to go and make something and create something and to assert yourself. So stand up and be seen. So you see those two sides of 1. Same thing for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm leaving that in the description box below. I want to add one more thing. In your challenge numbers, you can have the challenge number 0. And 0 represents one of two things. Either they're all of the challenges, you have so many challenges that everything in life seems inundated, or no challenges at all. It's just a period of no challenge. So this is really up to you to decide what that means for you. But I think that's it. I got so excited that it just kept going and going and going. But if you are interested in still learning this work, I'll still continue to post about astrology, numerology, any of these knowledge-based systems. And I hope you enjoyed it. So until next time, take care of yourself, love on yourself, and just remember that you have this beautiful purpose in front of you. So if no one said it to you today, I'm going to say it. I love you.